Hello, my friend. Alicia Lynn Diaz here, creator of the Enlightened Body System and the Soul of Healing Summit. And I've had an influx of exciting health-related questions, specifically digestive-related questions that have been coming in with the launch of a new course that's happening next week called the Enlightened Belly Gut Reset, 21-day gut reset that we're going to be doing here before the holidays. So I've had lots of people on Facebook and in my email list writing in lots of really good questions. And I'm going to just take a few minutes here to rapid fire answer some of these questions. If you want me to go into any deeper detail, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you have any questions that you have just been dying to ask, dying to understand about your health in terms of your gut, your digestion, your energy levels, your vitality, maybe there's something that you're dealing with chronic pain-wise, anything of that nature, feel free to write in, either private message me, message in the comments below, and we'll get your questions answered. I'm thinking if some of you guys are really enjoying the live Q&A, I can open up the next Facebook Live and actually bring you on the screen and we can talk. Hi, Linda. So good to see you, love. I can bring you on in an interactive Facebook Live format because oftentimes when someone asks me a question, I need to ask you more questions to get to the heart of what's really the appropriate answer. So let's dive into the questions. And I want to preface all of these questions here with the Ayurvedic concept that everything is medicine and everything is poison. In terms of the natural world, everything is medicine, everything is poison. It all depends on the person, the individual that is asking the question, the individual that is having the symptom or the problem or is in the inquiry. It has to do with the season. It has to do with your mental, emotional state, the answer to the question, and it has to do with so many different variables. So I'm going to go through some of these questions and then offer you just the mindset to start to think about these health-related questions, because here's my belief and what has been shared through Ayurveda for thousands and thousands of years is that your body has the innate intelligence inside every single cell to heal, to thrive, to have great energy and vitality, and it forgets often because of external stimulation and our mind that is constantly being disconnected from our physical body and from trusting that innate intelligence. So we eat things that are counterproductive to our health and energy, or we are so busy and preoccupied with different aspects of life that we get disconnected from our physical body or from our soul's purpose or what have you. And then this creates disharmony. And then we need to recorrect, and remind ourselves how to return this innate intelligence through all of these different methods. So everything is medicine, everything is poison. It all depends on the individual, the season of life that you're finding yourself in, your mental, emotional state, as well as lots of other variables that have to do with your unique body. So question number one, how does Ayurveda view fasting? Now, fasting is medicine for the person who has been over consuming for many years, for the person who has lots and lots of toxicity in their body, who needs to reset their gut in a really drastic way. Fasting in Ayurveda is medicine for people who have diseases or imbalances of excess water and excess growths in their body, tumors, cysts, cancers, things like that. Sometimes fasting is used to help create the opposite effect. So if an opposite effect of building and growth and excess would be something catabolic or reducing in nature, so stripping away, cleansing, purifying. You see the balance that I'm kind of giving you? So this is one way to look at it. Fasting, however, is poison for the person who already has consumptive illness, who is emaciated or losing weight when they don't want to. It is poison for someone who has a highly, highly sensitive nervous system, who needs more grounding, who needs more earth element. So someone who has a lot of trauma in their nervous system, or who has a lot of trauma, physical trauma that their body has gone through, and the body is needing more nourishment, then we want more building foods and building practices. And so fasting to this person would be potentially a poison in the medicine to poison spectrum. So does that make sense? Any other questions on fasting? Please let me know in the comments below and I can go more deeply into that. Okay. Next question, what are some simple, healthy Ayurvedic snacks that we can make during those very busy days? This is a great question that Nick shared, and Ayurveda views snacks a couple different ways. So snacks are medicine for people who have really, really high metabolism, who have problems with their blood sugar regulation, but are poison for, again, situations where there's overconsumption and the digestive system is not properly eliminating toxins and eliminating toxins from the cells, metabolic waste, and is for a digestive system that is not optimally assimilating nutrients out of the foods that you're currently eating. So if you're having digestive problems, then you probably want to err away from snacks and try to just eat 3 meals spaced 4 to 6 hours apart. Because every time you put something in your mouth, it takes a full meal, 6 hours to digest from beginning to end, about 6 hours, about 2 hours in your stomach, about 2 hours in your small intestine, about 2 hours in your colon. And if you eat every 2 hours or so, you're actually splitting your energy between your intestines and your stomach. And then you're not actually bringing the full energy or blood supply to digest the food that's in there. So someone who has a weakened digestive system doesn't want to be eating every few hours, doesn't really need to be eating snacks. So we want to space those meals out. Okay, but for the person who has a really strong, robust gut, who's burning a lot of calories because they're very physically active, well, then between those 3 bigger meals spaced out, you can consider what are some snacks that could be had in there. And the snacks, we want nutrient-dense, warm, liquidy, very easy to digest kind of snacks, because that doesn't take away from the digestive fire as much, provides quick and easy nourishment to the body. And so some snacks in that case might look like cooked apples, stewed apples with a little cinnamon, maybe a little bit of ghee or coconut oil. The fat will help digest it a little bit more slowly. I like a lot of tea tonics, so soaked dates in almond milk with some kind of herbal tea blended in the blender. Those are some nice, I have lots of recipes for you. If you want more recipes, please sign up for my newsletter at alicialindiaz.com. I send out, every week I send lots of recipes and different health practices, very, very broken down with lots of specifics, all the ingredients and all the how-to. So rather than me babbling on about exactly how to make these things, you can go to my newsletter and get more details. But those are just kind of a couple things to think about. Warm tea tonics, coconut milk, turmeric, golden milks, kind of that kind of thing. Actually, if you go to my Facebook page, there's a recipe on golden milk. Some variation of that would be a nice snack in between meals. So you want to try to avoid snacks that are tough on the gut, such as most boxed packaged things, raw nuts, granola bars, dry things, because they're actually gut irritants and they'll over time bog your energy down. So just some things to consider. Okay, but these, I'm trying to do rapid fire Q&A, which is a really great growth edge for me, because I usually teach seminars that last for days, and I love talking for a really long time because I have so much I want to share. So I'm trying to keep these brief and succinct. Wonderful. Thanks for your comments, you guys. Thank you so much for your hearts and your thumbs ups and your comments. I'll comment in more on those later, but I'll scanning for questions. So if you have any more questions on the topics we're talking about, please do write in. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Gosh, these are some bigger questions. Okay, should people who aspire to be more spiritual be vegetarians? This was a very genuine question written in from one of our viewers. And this is a way bigger topic that if you guys are interested in diving into this more, please comment in below. Because again, everything is medicine, everything is poison. There are certain people on the spiritual path who have had a really hard time in consuming any type of animal products as even when their body maybe really needed it. And now I believe, or I would say Ayurveda traditionally, let me just share this from an Ayurvedic lens, and then we can go into deeper dialogue around all the different ways to look at the different types of diets and nutritional perspectives based on ethics and based on spirituality, because my set of belief systems and maybe your set of belief systems, we can go into those for hours. From an Ayurvedic perspective, though, I'll just share that meat and animal products in the ancient Ayurvedic texts are used for grounding the body in general. So spiritual seekers who are meditating and trying to have satori experiences and experience enlightenment, and meditating monks and brahmacharis, they take all meat and tamasic quality foods, which are the really heavy, dense meats and cheeses, as well as garlic and onions and things. They take all those out of their diet in order to experience more subtlety in their tissues. Some people I notice in modern times, they have consumptive illnesses and they're so subtle in their nervous system that having some form of these foods actually helps ground them into a really embodied spirituality. That being said, the sources of animal products make all the difference here, and how the animal was treated, what they ate, and how they end up being brought to your dinner table. So that's a whole nother conversation. But I'll just to answer this question, I don't think that there's a hard line to draw on this one, and this inquiry is a very deep inquiry, and one that we can open up many layers of exploration, and I would love to do that if you guys are interested in diving into that more deeply. Another controversial question: how does Ayurveda view cannabis? Now, this is definitely not an area of my expertise, but this is questions that people have written in. And there's, again, maybe everything is medicine and everything is poison, and all the allies that we have available to us on this planet in their purest form, everything can be medicine and everything can be poison. So I have also seen in my practice places where cannabis use is very detrimental to someone's consciousness. It weighs them down, it dulls their mind, and it makes it harder for them to access consciousness. And I've also seen on the other side of the spectrum, based on certain body types and relationships with that plant, create a lot of illumination and opportunity for connecting with higher consciousness in a bigger way. So I think both of these two questions, that inquiries that you might be in around how Ayurveda views cannabis, or vegetarianism and omnivorism, all these different things, it's all personal preference, and there's a whole spectrum of understanding the deeper intelligence of your own body and what your body needs, and what your body, there's my timer, I was really trying to be brief today, what your body needs and what is just most supportive for your highest soul purpose and unfolding of your gifts in this lifetime. And so there's a full spectrum here. So I could dive deeper into all of these, and I'm kind of just going to touch upon these questions really quick, just so at least that I'm reflecting on them. But as you can see, there's kind of like a bigger can of worms here. And then one final, very practical question: how can I wean off coffee without getting headaches? Now, you're probably aware that coffee, again, everything is medicine, everything is poison, and everything else, so much of this has to do with the sourcing of the coffee. Now, coffee is very acidic, and so the part of the headache withdrawal is part from the caffeine and part from the rebalancing of hydration in your system. So you want to hyperhydrate on the days that you're trying to wean off of coffee. And there's one really great root herbal tea herb called roasted dandelion root, which you're probably familiar with. Roasted dandelion root tea, dandy blend, it's called, that you can get in some health food stores. There's also a company out of San Diego called rrsuperfoods.com, Raw Revelations. They make an amazing product called Coffee Fix, and it actually helps restore your adrenal glands, and it's in a delicious dissolvable tea formula, and it helps counteract the negative effects of coffee. So if you're trying to wean off coffee, and you're currently drinking 16 ounces a day, you want to kind of reduce by half each day or every other day. So 16 ounces down to 8 ounces, and then you'll do 8 ounces of coffee, 8 ounces of dandelion root tea or Coffee Fix or Dandy Blend. And then maybe do that for a couple days. And on the next day, you're going to do 4 ounces of coffee and, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ounces of the Dandy Blend, and so on, so that you're slowly phasing it out. And then that will help you not get headaches and increasing your water intake significantly. So as you increase your water intake during those days, you want to do half your body weight in ounces of water daily. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 100 ounces of water that you're drinking every single day. But you want to double the amount of coffee that you're drinking to ounces. So 200-pound person has to drink a minimum of 100 ounces of water a day. And if you're drinking 16 ounces of coffee, then that you have to add another 32 ounces of water on top of that. So hyperhydrate, drink all that water, add some minerals into the water, add a little bit of a pinch of coconut sugar, maple syrup, not honey, coconut sugar, maple syrup, pinch of salt, squeeze of lemon or lime or some kind of citrus. This will help your body absorb the water so that the water's not just going right through you and you're running to the bathroom having to pee all day. Okay, so that's the quick protocol of how to wean off coffee without headaches. Let me know if you have questions. Thank you for being here with me today. This was a fun experiment to rapid fire questions. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you want more information, more recipes, all of that, my website's a resource available to you, AliciaLyndiaz.com. Just register for my weekly newsletter where I send out all the recipes and things. If you want if you have any more questions one-on-one, you can send me a private message. I also am doing a gut reset, a 21-day enlightened belly gut reset starting on November 1st and ending before Thanksgiving. So if you want a little boost of your gut to help prepare you for the holiday season and to have lots of health and energy and vitality and boost your immunity over the holiday season so that you're starting your new year feeling bright and alive and shiny and connected to your purpose, you can join me for that because I'm doing a beta group for that. So the tuition is like 60% off right now, and it'll go up once New Year starts. So if you want information on that, send me a private message as well. And I'll also have some other free trainings next week if you want to go deeper into any of these topics, and I can send you more info on that as well. All right, thanks for being here with me, and I will see you next time. Lots of love. Have a beautiful day.